Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Spelunky HD and the All Shortcuts category plus Olmec. GruntingCrunchy, take it away.
Hello, I'm GruntingCrunchy or GC, and so I will be doing this category of Spelunky HD. Not Spelunky 2, not Spelunky Classic, the one right in the middle. And basically the purpose of this category is to progress through the game as a beginner would on their first playthrough, unlock all of the shortcuts, and defeat the final boss. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I'll kind of explain that as we go along. So I guess we can just get started. Time will start as soon as I hit the Z button and my rainbow bunny jumps onto the rope. That will be in 3, 2, 1, go. So, fun fact about this run, there is basically only one major glitch that gets used, and this is going to happen right at the beginning as I pick up that journal. You're going to see some weird menuing. And that is called the blackout glitch, and it allows me to enter this level, the tutorial, with 4 bombs and 4 ropes. Typically, you will have no resources when you enter, but if I have bombs and ropes, it lets me go significantly faster. Another interesting thing about the tutorial is that it is not randomly generated. Spelunky as a game is known for having levels that are procedurally generated, which means I have no clue what they're going to look like until I'm actually running through them. The tutorial is the same way every time, so I can use a lot of strats to go really fast. But this is the last level of the tutorial. As soon as I leave it, I will be into the unknown. And right there we have completed the tutorial. And so we're waiting for this main door to open. So, again, the purpose of this category is to unlock the shortcuts to the 4 major areas. We've just unlocked the first one, the mines. We need to unlock the shortcuts to the next 3 areas, the jungle, the ice caves, and the temple. And the way that we're going to do that is by running through each of these areas 3 times and delivering 3 different items to an NPC that spawns in the level transition. So in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, you should be able to see a little tracker that says AS+O 1 bomb. Basically, that is telling me the item that I need to deliver. The way I deliver an item is I run through 4 levels of the same area. I am on level 3 right now. And then I meet a little NPC in the transition screen and give him an item. This is not an ideal level to get. This is a very annoying level. There we go. So again, as I mentioned, these levels are procedurally generated. I have no clue what they're going to look like until I'm actually playing through them. And so I got a little bit unlucky there, slowed down a bit, but it's not a huge time loss. And so right here, I have completed the first split, so you'll see this little guy show up, Tunnel Man. I do some menuing, and I give him a bomb. And I intentionally die here. So you got a sneak peek of the next area in the game, the jungle, as well as an intentional death. You're going to see that happen a lot. Basically, now I have to do everything all over again and deliver a different item, 1 rope. And I have gotten a very interesting item. This is the teleporter. You have a very rare chance of getting this from a crate. It is the best speed item in the game. Also, very effective at killing you. So I'm going to use it sparingly. The world record in this category gets lucky, uses this item a lot. I'm not going to because I am not as good at using the teleporter as the world record is. So I have 1 more level left to go.
Also, I think I'm safe to assume that you lose the teleporter when you do your intentional death coming up.
Yes, I will. So that's one thing about this game. It features permadeath. So in this category, it's a little bit different. I'll explain why in a sec. But yeah, I lose all of my items. I no longer have the teleporter. I reset all of my resources and health, and I start from scratch. So we have completed 2 splits, which means that the next one I do will unlock our first shortcut, which is to the jungle. This time, instead of delivering a bomb or a rope, I need to collect $10,000. And I can use a little bit of tech here to save some time. So normally the NPC will only spawn once per level, or once per run, but if he actually can show up I am losing my words. He actually can show up more than once if he shows up in 2 different areas. So if you complete, for example, the last split of one shortcut and the first split of the next shortcut, he'll actually show up twice, and that's what's going to happen here. So as long as I have decent resources, I'm not going to intentionally die. At the start of the jungle this time, I'm going to keep going and run through that area, and I can make 2 deliveries in the same run. That's why I'm going a little bit out of my way to both collect money for the delivery, as well as collect some resources and health, because this run is going to be longer than the previous 2. I believe I have 1 more level left. Yep. So I have 1 more level left here. And there we go. So, we see Tunnel Man for the first time here. And now we get to actually run through the jungle. So we've seen this area before. You see that little orange blob there? That is the entrance to a very large worm that eats you. And because the donation incentive for this run was met, thank you very much for all the donations, we are going to be visiting it. We are going to be eaten by this gigantic worm and go through the area. So in order to enter the worm, I have to collect that little dog right there, and I have to sacrifice the dog to the worm. We will both get eaten. We actually both survive, which is nice, so I'm not being cruel. I'm gonna buy some bombs there, but I'm gonna feed this dog to the worm, and we're gonna go on a little bit of an adventure.
Good job, Chad. You've made us into food.
There are, I think, a lot of worms going around in this marathon.
Yikes.
So we enter this little bonus level here. This is the worm, and it is different from a lot of the other levels for a variety of reasons. First off, it is a lot taller and a lot thinner than most levels, much like me. And it is a very dangerous area. These little guys, the little bacteria that are sticking to the walls, it's not usually possible to kill them. You have to get a special item, which luckily also spawns in the worm, and I now have. It's this little weapon here called the Chris Knife. You might notice my whip has turned into this green knife thingy. Lets me kill them. Also does a lot of damage, has some cool music in the background. I got some pretty decent layouts there, and I actually completed it. The worm also takes the space of 2 levels, so you might notice my counter went from 2-1 to 2-2 to 2-4. Because this game is pretty good at doing math. All I have to do is exit, and now I'm going to deliver 2 bombs to this NPC right here. And now, hopefully, the indicator in the bottom left should say 2 ropes. I'm going to do an intentional death. We get a sneak peek of the next area. And I'm actually going to head back to the main menu. So we saw this earlier, but this new area over up in the left has opened up here. And I can go into our second shortcut to the jungle. So I'm going to restart here. And now I have to complete the full jungle again, and this time deliver 2 ropes. One of the running themes that you might see in this run is that the Tunnel Man wants, for the first delivery, will want some number of bombs, followed by some number of ropes, followed by a special item. So in the mines, this was 1 bomb, 1 rope, and then $10,000. In the jungle, it's going to be 2 bombs, 2 ropes, and then a shotgun. And in the ice caves, it's going to be 3 bombs, 3 ropes, and then a golden key. The golden key is a very important split in the run. We will get back to that in a sec. I have one more level here before I make our 2 ropes delivery. And there we go. So we've made our second of 3 deliveries for the jungle shortcut. I'm going to do an intentional death. And now we are entering a bit of an interesting split here, and I got incredibly lucky. So, this split is called the shotgun split, and I have to... I'm gonna kill this guy first. I have to collect a shotgun from somewhere in the level and deliver it to the Tunnel Man. Now, shotgun doesn't always spawn in this area, and there are a couple different ways of getting it that are fairly dangerous, but I happen to get one of the less common ways, and also the easiest way to get the shotgun. So I got a special level feeling called Dead Are Restless. That tombstone says Ash, and buried underneath of it is a shotgun. So I got a shotgun basically for free. I also got a cape from a vampire, which again only spawn in that special level feeling, which makes things a lot faster for me. And to balance things out, I got a bit of a rougher level, a tiki village, but I survived it, so it's not a huge deal.
Question
Right there.
is, can you get a chainsaw with that shotgun?
Sorry?
Can you get a chainsaw with that shotgun?
Chainsaw? No, unfortunately not. This is not quite Super Meat Boy. Can't. Oh man, I'm getting some interesting level generation here. I just got 2 very difficult special levels in a row. Tiki Village and Bees. I'm gonna use a bomb here. But I take things a little bit slowly, and I am safe. There we go. So I have one more level left to do. I got lucky on this split. The shotgun split is normally a lot harder than this, because the typical way of getting a shotgun is by murdering shopkeepers. And murdering shopkeepers means an angry one will spawn at the end of every level. Now that normally doesn't happen. I seem to have gotten an angry shopkeeper. That was just kind of random. I think something angered him. And with that, I'm going to reset, and we have our last set of shortcuts to unlock, which is the shortcuts running through the ice caves, this blue area, to unlock the temple. So, there are certain cases where you can use special strats to do some weird stuff in this area. I'm not going to. I'm just going to run through it pretty quickly. So these next 2 splits are going to be pretty similar to the previous ones I've done. So, Aeshmah, if you had any questions you wanted to ask about the run, now would be a good time for that.
I'll come back to the questions because I have probably several, but in the meantime, first and foremost, we have a $20 donation from JJG27. No comment attached to it, but we are of course very thankful for your donation because that is driving up our total, as we are currently shooting for $1,500 for our donations in the for Child's Play. So let me just quickly go ahead and tell you what Child's Play is. Child's Play was founded in 2003 by Mike Rulik and Jerry Hawkins in response to how video games were portrayed negatively by the media. Today they provide toys, games, and technology to over 185 hospitals worldwide to help improve hospitalized kids' lives. They also provide grants to help hospitals to help maintain entertainment equipment and to research new ways that technology can help children during their hospital stays. Visit the website at childsplaycharity.org to learn more about their efforts. And with that, you're actually playing, to come back to the questions about the run, you're playing as this very colorful rainbow bunny. Any reason for that?
I am, yes. So This character
That's
is...
the worm again.
It is the worm, yes. The worm actually spawns twice. Special area can spawn in either... Ah! Oh no, I don't like that guy.
He's still hungry. He wants more doggies to eat. Don't eat the doggos. Please.
Okay, so I've taken my... I'll get back to your Rainbow Bunny question. I've taken my my first death in the run. That was not a major time loss, but that death is actually pretty instructive. I died by falling into the abyss, which is a special characteristic of this area. All of the other areas in the game have little ground below it, so you can't fall into the abyss, but you can in this area, and that can be a problem later in the run. So, anyway, death aside, yes, so this Rainbow Bunny character is not originally in the game. It is actually a little custom character made by a community member, whose name I forget, I apologize. But this is a very popular skin, and it also matches this lovely rainbow bear hat, which I have. And it's a fun little thing.
I was just gonna ask about that, if that was intentional, that you're wearing this hat in congruence with the bunny or the other way around.
It was. Ah! I've taken another unfortunate death. This is fine. Again, these are not major time losses here. Part of the reason why this is a fun category to run for marathons is if you die, in most cases, it's fine. So I just have to play through a couple more levels here. I did not lose major time loss.
I mean, a couple more visits to the abyss, and we might mistake this for Dark Souls, I suppose.
That is true. That is true. I hope not to visit the abyss anymore, but we'll see. I don't really decide that.
Right, if you've got a moment.
I do.
We have another $20 donation from Carly Brown, which says, "Let's hope that the temple isn't cringe this time around." Yes, please, let's hope that.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like the ice caves are giving us a run for our money already.
Just a little bit.
Because we got 2 donations while we're here, so maybe you should, take another death so we can get in some more donations while we're still in the ice caves. So, because people seem to donate for that.
We'll see.
Anyway, thank you so much, Carly Brown, for your $20 donations. It is much appreciated.
I have finally completed that split, which means you get a sneak peek of the temple, and now we're on to the exciting part of the run. So this is called the key split, and as the name suggests, it is a key split to the run. This is a little bit different from the other ones for a couple reasons. So first off, you notice I am starting back in World 1, the first area, instead of the ice caves. And that is because in this split, I need to take an item that spawns only in the first area of the game and take it to the last area of the game. So I, instead of surviving 4 levels, which I have been doing the rest of the run, I actually have to survive 12 levels with just my starting resources and health, all while carrying an item. And so this item normally isn't a big deal to carry an item, but it means that I can't whip. And the whip is actually the best weapon for speedrunning. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to do this. And for most beginners at the game, completing the key split is going to be the first really difficult thing that they encounter in the game. I've been playing this game since 2017, and speedrunning since 2018. Shoutouts to Carl, by the way. I just did a pixel perfect rope skip that we were talking about last night. The key split is the first difficult thing that you encounter in the game. It took me over 1,000 deaths to complete this the very first time I played the game. So here's hoping that it'll take me less than 1,000 deaths this time. I got a little bit unlucky with where the keys spawned. I just did the rope thing again. But I know that it's in this level because I see this chest here. So I just have to find the key somewhere. There it is. and then carry it. I'm going to make a little shortcut here with a bomb. And I'm going to buy some resources here. So I have some more ropes and a parachute. I'm entering the jungle, the second area. Oh, thank you, parachute. Ooh! Ow! That hurt a little bit. So because I'm carrying the key, I wasn't able to whip. I could have whipped that boomerang in certain situations, but I didn't even have that option because I was carrying the key.
So is this basically an any percent run now?
It is, yeah.
The levels to the end, kind of?
Yep, that is, in an ideal situation, that's what it would be. So you kind of finish off with the hardest split of the game, which is, you know, interesting for speedrunning, but not a big deal, hopefully. So you notice that I've been chucking this key around in placement of whipping enemies, which is wonderful. It's all well and good for the first two areas of the game. But remember the abyss that was not so kind to me earlier? If I chuck this key and it lands in the abyss, it's gone. And it's gone permanently, and I won't be able to get it back. So I have to be very careful when I'm running through the ice caves with the key, not to let that get lost, because that will mean run over.
I mean, at least you can rest assured then that you have unlocked the abyss, I guess.
I mean, that is true. The abyss isn't a journal entry, but if it was, and I was running the category all journal entries, it could be helpful. Okay, last area of the game. This is a bit of a high-pressure area, so I may get a little bit quieter here. I have 3 levels left till the checkpoint. One level left. Here's hoping everything goes well. Classic. Classic scary level. Okay, we are at the checkpoint. So I have completed the hardest bit in the game. Now all I have left is to run through the last area. This is the temple. We see much less of it than the other areas, but I am fine with that, because it is the hardest of the areas that we'll encounter here. You could make an argument that Worm is harder, but the Worm is a little bit shorter and tends to just take away a lot of health, whereas the temple will just outright kill you. So, fun fact about this category, when it first was being run by the community several years ago, it was just all shortcuts. There was no plus Olmec. And the run would have ended right when I delivered the key, but that's kind of a boring end of the run. So we added on a final boss fight to make things a little bit more dramatic. And speaking of the final boss fight, as soon as I complete this level right here, I will be into the final boss fight. Right here. So, this boss is Olmec. I have a lot of bombs, so I'm going to do a safe strat. Is this giant stomping head here, and he's immune to any damage whatsoever. You cannot whip him, you cannot shoot him, you cannot do anything. You cannot stomp on him. However, his weakness is lava. So if you dig a pit with bombs, as I am doing now, and get him to jump into it, he will die. So, fast pit right there. I'm going to lure his head over. Here, I'm going to get him to stomp into the pit. And after that, I will exit and the run will be over. So we have about 5 seconds left. And time in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. So, that is the run. I'm glad I was able to finish it off with a full any percent run of the game. Things went fairly smoothly, and I finished under estimate. We get this fun little closing screen here.
Do you have any shoutouts to do?
I absolutely do. So, I wanted to thank Carla Braun and JJG for both donating. They're excellent Spelunky runners, great members of the community. I want to give a shout out, I guess, to the Spelunky community as a whole. It has some wonderful people in it. It's a wonderful, big, active speedrunning community. A lot of categories, a lot of runs being submitted. And in particular to Saturnin and Gearbear for running the wonderful Moss Ranking website. I guess also shoutouts to Kirby703, the Tetris legend, as well as Karabsi for both doing practice runs with me to kind of help me get ready for the marathon. So, shoutouts to everybody in the community for having great community, a fun game to run. So yeah, that is all I have. Thank you very much.
Alright, thank you so much GC for this very awesome run of Spelunky. I haven't played that game myself because I was always so afraid of its difficulty levels, and you've made it seem easy. But everybody, do remember, she has been playing that game for years at this point, so if you thought this was easy, a lot of practice has went into this. That is not to be understated here. Same. Thank you again so much, and with that, this run is done, so we'll go to another short intermission. We will play one of our ads for you from our sponsors, and after that, we will be back for you guys with a run of Rainbow Billy, The Curse of the Leviathan. So stick around for that.
Thank you very much.